Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
It's just my algorithm. I don't know if you've been seeing this, but several different people have made it aware to me this past week that it is the 20th anniversary of Twilight, which obviously I knew.
Sure.
Folks are like, did you know that it's the 20th anniversary this year of Twilight and Supernatural? And I'm like, can you all, I just need...
the 1-2 punch.
Like, I am aware, thank you. You don't need to bring this to my attention.
Right. Stay out of my home and my lawn.
No, for real. Like, get off of my lawn, please. Like, I don't need you to get into my business. Thank you. I've lived so many lives. Go away.
That's so disrespectful. Oh my god.
It is. But I saw multiple posts this past week of people being like, did you realize that these are published within like a month of each other? And it's like, shut up.
I can't handle the passing of time right now, okay?
I know.
Jeez.
I don't want to think about the fact that some of you weren't alive when these came out. It's honestly disturbing to me. It makes my bones hurt. But thank you, though. Thank you for reminding me of the passing of time.
Always a pleasure.
Now please, get off my lawn, or I'll start charging you rent. Welcome into the Twilight.
Heyo.
Hello. We're glad that you're here. This week, our mini show within a show is a very special one for us. We have made it a constant throughout the past 8 years to not coordinate our happy things.
Yeah.
We don't talk about them. I just had an inkling, though, this past week to text you.
Yeah. Little gut check.
Because I was like,
little temperature check.
Just a gut check, because I was like, hey, so before I put my photo in our notes, which what are you going to stake your flag on, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And it just so happened that both of them have a very special person in common, which I love. So this week is unofficially sponsored by Bob.
Yeah, welcome to the stage, Bob the drag queen.
Who's always welcome.
Taking 2 spots in our hearts for our happy things this week.
Would love to have you on here. Would love to know your thoughts about Twilight.
God, oh my god.
Can you imagine? How are you?
I'm here. I am recovering from a slight sickness, so I have a little sexy voice going on right now. So that's my
Are you down
treat.
with the sickness?
I'm down with the sickness. I'm chugging Gatorade like it's my fucking job. So, we're living.
Back off. That's my thing.
You can't put your stake and ownership on Gatorade. How dare you?
That's not true. That's my thing.
How dare you?
I'm the sporty spice.
Oh
Back off.
Okay, sorry. So I'm doing Stolen Valor. That's what's happening right now. That's what I'm doing. And I'm not ashamed.
Okay, fine. This week only, I'll take Powerade. Fine.
My happy thing is we gotta talk about the traitors, okay? We gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. It's good.
It's canon to this show. Okay.
It is related. It's part of it. We're breathing in it. It exists, okay? I was stunned, gobsmacked, floored, right? Because again, walking into this, I was like, this cast is buck wild.
It's so good.
Levels beyond anything I've seen.
Right.
So many of my loves and villains and from every show I've ever watched in my life.
The ante upped.
Yes. And we've seen this go down a couple times, and it's like, okay, fuck yeah, with this group of people, what is the most probably chaotic group of people they could pick to be the traitors, and they did that immediately. So you got Bob, you got Danielle from Big Brother, and my love, my mom, my wife, Carolyn from Survivor. And
It's just such a god tier choice.
It's wonderful. And I was worried at first because I'm like, oh my god, I love Carolyn, but people have opinions about her, and I feel like she might blow her cover. But the fact that she is now the most seemingly put together of these three chuckle fucks.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, 100%.
And nobody's listening to her? Hello? Wake up. Wake up.
At this point, she is the most trajectory is going to make it through.
Yeah.
Which is
and
shocking.
Listen, love Bob, but doing a little too much. Doing a little too much.
Yeah.
Why are you crying at the breakfast table, guys? What? You're crying? Like, listen, if I was there, I would cry because of Dorinda, you know? But, but like, you're crying?
Listen.
What's going on here?
Listen. This season, they've upped the budget. They keep upping the budget, and I have so much respect for it, right?
Yeah.
This season, one of my favorite things about the Traitors, right, is that you've got all of my favorites from reality TV. And then sometimes we get like some political components in there. This year, they also included a ghost, which I love. We've talked about Wells before. So I love that they're bringing in the supernatural element.
Oh my god.
Love that.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this before. I don't think Wells is real. And so the fact that they're bringing that's also on the table. That's great.
Right.
We also get to bring in my fears, like my childhood fears. Bob H., right?
Dude.
Bob Harper.
Why is he there? Why? That's so violent. Like, it's so fucked up.
Listen, I'll take him over Jillian Michaels any day, because if it was Jillian, I would be shaking in my fucking boots.
Yeah,
Jillian would be great on the show.
Yeah.
Though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
But I have not resolved that trauma yet to experience that.
No, but she'd be great on the show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But anytime I look at her, I immediately start feeling like I need to download my Fitness Pal again, and I cannot go back down that road.
Yeah, real shit. Real shit.
And Bob still does that to me, but to a little bit of a lesser degree. Here's my question, though, because we haven't talked about this show too much. I mean, I texted you some immediate reactions.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this cast. The choices have been rough so far.
Listen, I know it always starts bad because you're really starting from nothing, so I have to give grace, but people are making some... I was Wells. The whole time I was Wells, because people were making just out of the blue picks for petty reasons or whatever, when y'all have zero information. And when he was just like out loud being like, way to burn fucking votes, I was like, yes, man, absolutely. Yep. What are you doing?
It is so telling to how this has gone, because I would have bet money the first episode that most of the editing would have gone to Brittany, to Chriselle, and to Gabby. And the fact that we have barely seen them at all throughout these 3 episodes is a testament to how buck wild this has gotten.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel like Gabby has she's got a good nose. She's sniffing.
I'm obsessed with her.
I love her. Chriselle, love and light. Whatever.
She's just here solely to make Tom have a really shitty... Like, she's one of Tom's
and if that's her
ghosts.
only role, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to do anything. She can just, like, make Tom sweat so much.
A definition of, like, a producer plant, and I'm here for it, honestly.
Yeah. If it just makes him squirm for a little bit, great. You know?
If you had told me, like, by the end of this, we're going to find out that this was, like, Tom's 3 ghosts of, like...
Oh, my God.
Past, this has solely just been an intervention for him, I'd believe it, and I'd be fine with it, actually.
Yeah. Also, like, special last shout-out to when they were doing the little montage of, like, oh, would you like to be a traitor? Blah, 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 blah. And Tom was just like, please don't make me one. It's like, please don't. I can't do it. It's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life, and I am obsessed with it.
I'm I can't. This season is so... Listen, I have a lot of real complaints with it, but this season's really good.
Yeah. I'm here for it. It's gonna... Hopefully it'll get better and they stop bringing in random dudes.
Fucking fuck. Now, Boston Rob, I unfortunately have a really big soft spot for.
Yeah.
Because I respect his game so much. So the fact
Sure.
that he immediately came in, he had to shut the fuck up in that first round table.
Yeah.
And then immediately when he was allowed to talk, he's like, you're doing bad, you're doing bad,
Right.
you're doing bad. I was like, this is why I unfortunately love you.
Yeah.
You would call me so many slurs if we ever met in person,
Yeah.
but I love your game
Right.
so bad.
You gotta real recognize real. You gotta respect it.
Exactly.
How are you doing, and what is your Bob the Drag Queen inspired media this week?
Our Oops All Bob section.
Oops, all Bob.
I'm here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, nevertheless, you know.
Yeah.
My Bob related happy thing this week is that Dungeons and Drag Queens is back.
Let's go.
You gotta know that fucking Bob's publicist this week is just having a heyday, you know?
Yeah. What a
His
time to be
media
alive.
team,
Yeah.
his media team has got to be loving this. But yeah, Dungeons and Drag Queens is back for season 2, and the season premiere is so good. Everyone looks great. I'm so glad that they're back.
Yeah.
And that I get to consume this at a sustainable rate this time.
Yeah.
Because when we watched it last time, it was like 8 hours of D&D to the face.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I do that now by choice.
Mm-hmm.
But last time, it was like, oh God, oh fuck.
Yeah, we really
I don't
speed
know
ran
what's
through
happening.
that. Yeah.
Exactly. So now I get to have an amuse-bouche. I get to eat this slowly and consume it, which is great. I love having them back. A couple of things that I really enjoy. One, Jujubee is still so lost.
Yes.
And I love the consistency.
I hope she never learns
Which
to play. I hope she never learns. It's such a beautiful thing to watch.
Even if she does learn, I hope that she keeps up the bit because I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that really confuses me. I relate to Brennan on a personality level very deeply.
Sure.
So when he becomes attractive, it confuses me sometimes. Because, like, obviously he's hot, right? Like, I get it. But when he is hot and then also in drag, I'm like, what the fuck? I've never felt more queer than when that happens. But it's just really confusing because I'm like, well, Brennan, obviously, like, we're both autistic. Like, I get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then I see you and you look like the paternal side of my family. Like, you're hella Irish, right?
Yeah.
And then you're hot and you're wearing, like, cosplay, queer D&D stuff. And I'm like, what is happening to my brain right now?
Yeah. I can't handle this right now.
I physically need to, like, hit my head with a wall. The budget for all of the queens and their cosplay went up, which I really appreciate.
Hell yes.
Which is amazing. Notable things that are right off the bat that I'm obsessed with. We have a return of an NPC from last season.
Love.
That I was obsessed with, which is the vampire obsessed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Second, there's an animal in this first episode that is named after a condiment.
Okay.
And there's a crocodile or an alligator, whatever, named Mustard.
Love.
That had me rolling. It was very good. But just to have these queens back in the space was really important. And I wasn't sure if they were going to go like all these same queens new adventure, but it's tied to last season. It's like 2 weeks after.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm locked in.
Hell yes.
I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to get back with my girls. Back with my ladies.
Yeah. Yeah, and just, it's such a different kind of D&D session than Brennan usually runs, because you get to see him kind of like off kilter with the kind of jokes that they make. Mm-hmm. And you get to see him kind of let loose in a way that he doesn't usually when he's running a table.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. I think it's great.
Hell
Makes me very happy. Okay. So...
Dude.
This... so our penultimate here. Yeah. Our Penn Badgley Ultimate episode. We didn't really need a recap. The recap was kind of a fluff here of like, hey, did you remember that there's a love triangle happening?
Right.
Did you remember that Tyler's here? Did you remember that Rick was bad? I found out, by the way, on the internet when I was looking up fanfics, they're calling him Evil Laric, like all one word.
Oh. Okay.
So apparently in 2012, that was a thing.
Sure.
They mixed evil and Alaric back then.
Evilaric. Okay.
Which I hate and I refuse to use, but just so that you're locked into the timeline.
Sure. Yeah, it's got terrible mouthfeel for sure. I in my notes have often just referred to him as Evil Rick.
Just to kind of set you into the time.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in the space.
Yeah, you're in the space. And the timing of this episode is maybe 4 hours after last episode. Yeah.
Then you're not getting a chance to sleep or nothing. They're like, all right, let's go. More shit.
Yeah. Right. Barely anything. How did this penultimate do you?
Oh, God.
Same.
I'm excited for this journey that Rick is on, because I think it's very interesting. But,
this actor, dude,
is on. He can lock in.
And I'm loving it.
When he's able to just, like, tap into it, I'm like, wow, you are, like, actually compelling and interesting to watch. I love that. But
I know it's not going to last long, obviously, because, like, this is so clearly what they're trying to do for the finale.
Right, like, this is unsustainable for a long time. But for now, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But, like, God, just, like, everyone in the crosshairs of, like, Bonnie keeps getting fucked, Jeremy keeps getting fucked, Caroline keeps getting fucked. It's like, I need a second to breathe, okay?
I could make a 20-minute video, like, of all clips of Caroline getting tortured at this point. Like, the supercut that I could make in 3 seasons alone is nasty business.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm not a fan. Yeah.
It does...
Has she not been through enough, guys?
There's a lot of gratuitous things that are happening to some of our favorite characters this episode alone that I'm over it. Do the actors do well? Yes, of course, obviously. But I'm done. I'm done with it.
White flag. Enough, okay? Enough.
Exactly. Here's the thing that I was surprised by, I guess, this episode. I laughed more than I was expecting to this episode.
Yeah, there were some fun little moments.
I don't know that it was intentional, but I laughed multiple times. I wrote down several times, and I think it was mostly in the front half, but like the product placement got me.
Oh my God. The phone?
Exactly.
Or actually, there were multiple phone moments this episode that had me laughing. One is when Elena got a call from Rick, and she's like, "LOL, he's dead." But like his profile picture is just like the android guy. She's like, "Hey," hilarious. And then when Bonnie has this digital locator spell or whatever, and like taps on her phone, but like clearly it is just a screen in post production, like going to a map and enhancing. It's so insane.
Yeah, it's like the Android Find My Friends kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was dying over that. So, and that was not supposed to be funny, but I was obsessed with it. And then the whole, like, Klaus being the big bad wolf.
Yes.
It's supposed to be scary, and obviously it comes across that way. I get it.
Yeah.
But I was giggling the whole time.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this throughout the show of where is their Ace Hardware, right? Like, who is their window repair guy? And the fact that after the little, like, hurrah at the end of the episode, we don't see Elena be like, who the fuck broke my window? Why are there fence posts in my wall? Like,
what's going on?
I was waiting for that. It was so good. So thank you. Thank you, whoever decided that was the appropriate course for Klaus to decide to break into the house.
Obsessed.
Chef's kiss. I don't know how physically it's possible for a newspaper to break a window, but, I mean, thank you. I'm curious. I mean, whose pain do you want to start out with here?
Woof.
Because, I mean, it is mostly... This episode is mostly pain, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's tough. I think... I would say let's start with Jeremy, because that kind of sets the groundwork for a lot of this. Of, like...
Yeah.
His whole thing in the beginning is like, hey, Stefan, bitch, like, if you guys are back together or not, whatever. I don't really give a fuck. But, like, how about you just give us one day without a vampire in it? Mic drop. And it's like, whoa. And Elena's like, oh my god, he didn't mean that. And Stefan's like, no, he for sure did. It's okay. Like, it's fine.
I accidentally did have my spidey senses turned on, Elena. He for sure meant that, actually.
Yeah, it kind of, like, I forgot I could turn that button on the back of my head. But yeah, he for sure meant it. Like, tough. It's tough.
Hey, here's my question for you. The Vampire Diaries team, and also you as well, Cody. I'm pretty sure, having watched at least 200 hours of HGTV in my life, you're not supposed to paint without fans and also windows open. And they do that multiple times this episode.
Like, first of all, yeah, so much home renovation going on in this episode. And, like, Elena's just, like, painting, la la la. And Stefan's like, it's dark. And she's like, this is the only paint color we had. And it's like, why is there no ventilation? There's no tape on the ground. There's no, like, what are you doing? I know you're trying to distract yourself. But, like...
Exactly, what? Right? Y'all can heal in different ways. I'm not going to knock the way that you process.
Sure.
But, and I know that they want me to believe that her passing out at the end with her nosebleed is supernatural caused. But she was painting the windowsill with no ventilation in that room. So, and she did have almost all of her blood drawn that day. And then drank alcohol. So what do you want me to... Listen. I don't know where you want me to assume that there's a supernatural cause here when there's a lot of natural things adding up. No. But I did think that was an interesting choice. That at some point Elena and Jeremy were like, we could process the grief of Rick. Or, hear me out. We could get a paint sample.
Right. What if we go to Ace Hardware and fuck shit up over there?
And, okay, sure, why not? I don't know how I feel about Jeremy right now, because when Bonnie, they paused, right? They paused when he came back at the end.
Yeah.
And Damon made that very clear this episode of being like, listen, you have done this a couple times. I don't want a repeat of Rick.
Right.
I am unsure of if that is something that they're going to tap into at some point next season.
Right.
I don't want it, obviously, but it has happened multiple times now.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Makes me nervous.
Mr. Jeremy.
It's absolutely not looking good. I agree. So that's scary. Other people that are down bad. I mean, she was okay, seemingly, by the end of this episode. But I felt very bad for Caroline.
Yeah. I'm sick of this. She's just out here trying to help and getting bamboozled along the way.
Right. She had a long night, and then she came back to the school the next morning to try and clean up, doing her civic duties.
Yeah. Has to ignore all the sexual chemistry she has with Rebecca and just get along with her day.
Who, by the way, is alive now. Again.
Right.
Question mark.
I was so confused for a second. I was like, is this still Esther? Or is this like back? And then she like went back to like kind of talking shit. I was like, okay, that's Rebecca. I know. That's her. All right.
Yeah, them doing a little like tag team with Rick at the start was I was obsessed with that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then she just kind of, she has like, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes this entire episode. I weirdly kind of missed her.
Yeah. Also, when Rick is like just going full speed of like evil shit or whatever, and it's in like broad daylight, like he's like running outside.
Yeah.
Going nuts out there, like dragging bodies, doing all this shit. It's like, brother, it is like 8 a.m. Like, what are you doing?
Literally. That moment too that we see, I loved that because we find out, obviously, it's only been a couple of hours. He has not had time to get a sun ring, of course.
Right.
So to see him dragging Caroline's body in, not good.
Yeah.
But he is burning alive.
Yeah.
And you can tell
like,
that he's just like, I am so done right now.
It's like, this sucks. What the fuck?
It was a very good choice. I love the way that they blocked that scene. I didn't know the music that I was not familiar with the song, but it was a good choice that they did there. I liked that scene.
Yeah. That was a good moment, for sure.
I mean, obviously, I'm not a fan of evil Rick doing all this to Caroline. But these two have really good chemistry. Like, unfortunately, Candace is really good at acting in pain. I don't know how she found that out as an actress. But the other thing that I thought was really interesting is that some point in that house, in Elena's house, there are 2 vampires, a witch, and her brother.
Uh-huh.
And Elena was able to get out. Oh, and then Klaus showed up, right? So 3 vampires, technically. And she was able to get out, and nobody noticed how she did it. What?
It's insane. What? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
This is like a full, literally a Full House situation of creatures with presumably spidey senses, and she's like, "Bye, see y'all later."
If we find out at some point that she has a Bella-esque power, I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah.
Just because, like, one, I think that it would explain some of this, but it also might just be trying to retcon some of the oblivious nature of Damon and Stefan. Sure. Because what do you mean, right? I'm curious to know your thoughts on Rick and him not being able to go full Super Saiyan on Elena. Because he's trying, right? He's trying to be like, I'm scary. Take me seriously. Right. But when it comes down to it, right? He can't. I mean, he is, right? I mean, he is scary. You don't just like stab pencils into someone's hands, right? But he can't actually strangle her.
Right.
At the end
I
of
think
it,
it's interesting because
it doesn't seem like it's not just because their lives are paired.
Right. Like, there's definitely seems to be something else going on. Like, and he went for the jugular many times too, right? He was like, "Oh,
for real.
You know, did you actually think they'd be proud of you?" Or like, what was that other line? That was like, you know, "Oh, you always wanted to learn how to actually kill vampires. Like, here's your chance." Blah blah blah. And like, just really just having the knife in there and twisting it. But I think too of Elena being like, bet if all of this is connected in some weird way, like, I will take any chance I get to essentially kill myself in front of other people. You know,
She
just to
straight up
test a
pulls
theory.
Bella in Eclipse. Yeah.
Yeah. She will always test that theory. She's like, if it works, it works. Hey, you know, like, like, I'll try it. And that, like, he can't, like, fully, like, get on to, like, the evil path there of, like, getting rid of that shit. And it's like, whoa.
It is interesting. I'm curious about this and what it explains. Like, if they're going to dive into this a little bit more, beyond the fact that they're trying to say, right, that, like, Elena is the chosen one as far as tropes go. Because this has happened, right, with Elijah. It has happened with Rebecca as far as Elena goes. It has not happened with Klaus.
Yeah.
Because as we see later on, he's, aside from that one moment where he's like, you know, since it's just us girls, but he's fully fine with, like, draining her dry and then being like, so anyway, bye.
Right.
So I'm curious if it's just like she has an affinity for finding the goodness in people, or what it is.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. That moment, by the way, with Klaus getting all of her blood, this has happened to her like 3 times now.
God, yeah.
And I'm over it.
It's nasty.
It is. It's so nasty. I didn't find out until like 2 minutes before we started recording. This is just another shout out to the Vampire Diaries wiki. That apparently the nurse in that scene is played by Hillary Ann Harley, who at the time was Stephen McQueen, aka Jeremy's girlfriend.
What?
So small world. I know.
What? Dang.
I know.
Shout out to the wiki.
Shout out to the wiki for sure. I can't say that I'm sad about Klaus.
Yeah. Right.
It's like the one way.
Not really a rip, you know. Not really an in piece.
I don't know that I think this, if anything, this show has taught me that I don't trust anyone is like dead yet. So I don't know that I feel comfortable celebrating yet.
Yeah. Like the fact that they were like, let's throw a party. It's like, okay, this is too good to be true, you guys. Like, we cannot be doing all this. Like, come on. Be serious.
Especially because we don't see any, we don't see anything about them trying to like treat the body.
Right.
And that automatically makes me very suspicious.
Yeah, you think I'm going to trust Stefan and Damon with him just in the back of their car to properly dispose of this body? You think?
Chucklefuck 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Absolutely
Tweedledee and Tweedledum, you think? You think
absolutely
they're going
to
actually do that correctly? And not fuck it up?
These two are going to get one flat tire and be like, well, mission failed.
They're too busy talking to each other about the plan if Elena picks one of them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not focused on Klaus's body, who is behind their trunk. Which, that was a great conversation, but also, you guys got a mission. Focus. Focus up, guys, okay?
They need to get their head in the game so badly.
God. They're just so, they're so horny, and it's impeding their decision-making skills.
They spent almost this entire episode either walking in sync, staring at Elena with heart eyes like in Looney Tunes, or dead because Rick snapped their necks. Do something useful, please. Anything. I'm begging you. It's embarrassing.
God.
Honestly, Matt did more this episode than y'all did.
Yeah,
and he was in one scene.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it.
These fools.
I think that I would say Matt did more. I would say that Tyler did more, and that's saying something because I'm still not really on Tyler's side. But he at least got Elena starting to get out of that scene, which is good.
Yeah, he'll show up when it matters, you know? You gotta respect that.
Right. Yeah. He'll, at the 11th hour, he'll do something, which is nice. Even though I don't trust it, I did think that that little party at the end was cute.
Yeah.
If I've learned anything about a show, I don't trust when they celebrate. But I did think it was nice for Elena to at least, like, have a moment with her friends, which is good.
Yeah.
So, laughing is good. I love to see Caroline and Bonnie also there and laughing. So, I'll celebrate it when it happens.
Right.
Good is good. There are a couple of loose ends here that I am personally nervous about. We know that Rebecca gave an ultimatum and she dipped out this episode.
Right.
I'm curious. I'll need to double check the timing. I'm not sure if the originals like starts after this season, which it might. I'll need to confirm that. But I'm also unsure of where things are going to go since fucking Rick at the end of this season, or at the end of this episode, was like, okay, emergency meeting.
Dude, that
Carol
gagged me so hard.
Did you this in Carol's home, by the way?
Absolutely deranged. And because they're like, oh my god, like, I can't believe you're calling a meeting this late. And they're like, actually, Rick did. And Rick's like, hey besties, hey girlies. Just want to let y'all know that, like, your elected officials who said they were going to, like, protect us from creatures and vampires and all that stuff, are actually have spawn that are creatures and monsters. And they're lying to you. And they suck. And it's like, oh my god. Oh my god. Tea.
It's so... I mean, not only is it just, like, pot calling a kettle black, right?
No, literally, yeah.
But to do that in her own home, Rick, is so nasty.
It's so nasty. And it's like, little side smirk, like, you know, like, these witches, these women are lying to us,
right?
So they're gonna protect us. It's like, damn, Rick, fuck.
Also, who was the rest of those people? We've been asking for so long. Like, who were the other founders? There were so many other people in there that we've never met before.
Never seen once in my life. Not once.
I can only assume, right, that the way that this is going to end, like, we're starting out next episode, is that he's brought them to slaughter them, because that's, like, his whole deal. But I don't know. I'm unsure. Rick, at this point, is a loose cannon.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure about his whole thing. I definitely don't want him around kids. I'll tell you that.
Sure, yeah.
I don't want him teaching. So that's not great.
Yeah.
Nervous about that. I guess I'm personally curious to know, where do you think, since next episode is going to be the finale of this season, what are you thinking? Like, where is this going to go?
God. I feel like I'm still iffy on the Klaus of it all, because that feels a little too easy, a little too buttoned up. But I do feel like the Rick stuff kind of has to end in one way or another.
Yeah.
Next episode. So, like, and obviously, like, they keep doing the pressure of, like, Elena, you know you gotta make a choice soon. Like, you gotta make a choice.
I
feel like it's gonna be, you know, a little bit of that. Because they're definitely peppering it on the last few episodes of, like, Elena, like, you can't just string these boys along. And she's like, I'm working through my shit, okay? Thank you. God.
Yeah, I mean, her acknowledging it at the door.
Growth. Huge.
I felt like was definitely growth.
She's opening her feelings. That's good. She's vocalizing. She doesn't know the answers yet, but still.
And I think it was also important for her to say, like, listen, I am afraid of making a choice because I want both of you in my life. And I'm afraid, not in a way of, like, stringing you both along, but I care about both of you. And I'm afraid if I say I only want one of you, you're going to do exactly what you did in the car, which is whoever she doesn't choose, I'm going to go fuck off and go to a different town, which is exactly what she doesn't want.
Like, these fools are so petty. They're like, yeah, we'll just, like, kick it for, like, 60 years or whatever in another town, and then we'll come back, pretend it didn't happen. Bro code, right? It's like, what? Did you not hear her?
Yeah, so you heard her say...
and loves and appreciates both of you. You could go up.
So you heard her say, I want both of you in your life, both of you in her life, which, again, is... Some could say is selfish, right? Like,
sure,
you need to have, both of them need to be okay with that. But you heard her say that, and then you both agreed after the fact. So whoever she doesn't choose, we're just gonna go to a different town for a while, right? And they're both like, yeah,
we're just gonna fuck off. Cool. Yeah. for sure. It's like,
God damn it. Yeah, and then Caroline coming in at the party, like, at a rose ceremony being like, so you're gonna make a choice, right? God damn it. Let her live. She just lost her
figuring
father
it out,
figure.
okay? She hasn't had a lot of time to, like, focus on her personal relationships, okay?
In the grand scheme of things, it's been a day, even less than, since she lost Rick. Can y'all just let her breathe for a second?
Yeah, jeez Louise.
God damn. So I agree with you. I think that, like, they're setting this up that it's going to happen next episode, though. I agree.
Yeah. The choice. TM.
Right. I'm also curious about next episode if there's going to be something... Because they made it a point this episode about, like, Bonnie getting Damon's blood.
Yeah.
And then Bonnie gave her blood... like a fucking Uno card, to Damon and Stefan and Klaus.
Yes.
For the spell. And I'm wondering, does that mean anything? Or is that just par for the course because everyone has had vampire blood at this point to come back to life?
Right. Like, it doesn't move around the source or whatever for, like, if one bloodline is done, you know?
I'm also wondering if, like, to get rid of Alaric for real, Abby is going to need to stay in town until next episode. Because they really didn't make that as big of a thing as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was going to be a little more important, but who knows?
And it really wasn't this episode. Like, I made a note of it, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. So I don't know. I don't know. I think I would, if I'm writing this in a note and sealing it until next week, I think next episode, Rick's going to be Gone Girl in some way. I don't think Klaus is done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It felt too easy. As much as I want that, I just don't feel it. That's my truth. I think that even if it doesn't happen next episode, I think they're going to have to come back to Jeremy and the ring. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting that down. Fuck. Who do I think Elena's going to choose?
You're doing your bets?
They said in the car what I hoped for, which is that she chooses neither of them. That's what I really want.
I hope the choice is not a choice. You know what I mean? It's a choice
right, exactly.
Right now.
I hope that she doesn't choose. I hope that she says no to both of them.
Yeah.
But we have like 4 more seasons left of the show, so I know that's not true. I unfortunately think that she's going to be basic.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to choose Stefan.
We haven't had any of the Damon moments really in a while. You know what I mean? Like, if it was kind of ramping up still of things, I could see that. But I don't think we're in a place where it's a Damon choice. currently.
Which is such a...
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It is a bummer, but if I'm being honest with myself, I think I like it with them when it's all tension. I don't know if they would last as like a true relationship, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. They need to be yearning for each other, but not in a relationship.
Exactly. Exactly.
Always the one that got away.
I think... But then that means that Damon's gonna leave, and who's gonna bring the spice? Who's gonna bring the shows? I want Caroline and Bonnie to not be hurt next episode. Do I think that's gonna happen? No. But here's my worry though, because of the fact that Carol and Liz are in the same scene with Rick.
Yeah.
I'm afraid he's going to take both, because this show loves to take down women. I'm worried he's going to take them both down.
No.
If we're going to lose one baddie, which is Rick, the show's like, well, then we got to take two women. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only fair trade. Okay, so that's my thing. I think Elena's going to choose Stefan. I think that... I think Rick's going to go down. I don't think Klaus is truly dead. And I think Liz and Carol are going to get got. Or they become vampire lovers, and that would be my best case scenario.
Okay, yeah, wait. Hear me out. Alternative theory.
I mean, that would be the best case scenario. But I think what they're actually going to do is Rick's going to be like... Yeah. Just as like one last real fuck you at the end. Ugh. Also, this photo that I provided, doesn't it give a little Storage Wars for next episode?
Yeah, it looks like he's like, let's see what's in this unit. I bought this for $400. I'm going to flip all this. Just you see.
Yeah. I'm going to go start a new life, but before I do, I'm going to take everyone's vintage china and sell it so I can go start somewhere new on the East Coast. I can't believe that next week we have the end of season 3. I feel like we just started season 3.
I know. It's gone so fast.
I know. That's wild. Well, friends, we have some amazing patrons to thank. Do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Greg Lautner.
Ooh, thank you to April Dobrev.
Ooh, thank you to Kristen Stewart.
Ooh, thank you to Callista Lockwood.
Ow. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ow. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ow. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ow. Thank you to Emily O'Zara.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivishkov.
Pew, pew, pew.
So I have a fanfiction for you by the author Penumbra that is titled Ruin.
Okay. And
it was published right after this episode aired back in May of 2012. And the summary is: missing scene from season 3, episode 20. Damon revives Bonnie after her encounter with Alaric. And this is all one chapter.
Damn.
And I'm sorry ahead of time.
I don't know.
Can I tell you something, Bonnie? He says, always confessional at times like these. He lets his head fall back against the wall and closes his eyes. I didn't do it to make Elena hate me. Your mom, I mean. He takes his wrist from her mouth. He gave her too much, really, but he needs her to have her strength, and lets her head fall against his shoulder. I did it to make you hate me. He pauses and looks down at her face to make sure she is still unconscious. What he's about to say next is almost too confessional, even for this moment. Because I need you to hate me, Bonnie. I don't know what I'd do if you ever stopped. He knows it's true. He needs her to hate him more than he will ever need Elena to love him. Her hatred defines him, ensures that he is always reminded of who he is and what he's done. While she's here, he knows exactly what is real and what is not. Without Bonnie, he would lose himself entirely, become amorphous, disintegrate. He needs her to hate him, and he suspects she needs to hate him just as desperately. That's why he makes it easy for her. That's why he makes it clean. It's all he can give her. He can't give her anything else. Elena wanted me to apologize, but I'm not sorry. I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but I'm not sorry for that one. I choose the same again every time, but I'm sorry it came down to a choice like that at all. That was my fuck up. That was my fault. He places his mouth close to her ear, not sure if she will remember this or not, but feeling somehow that it is of pressing importance that he tell her this. That's why I get it, he says, his voice barely even a whisper. You hear that? I get why you did this. You had every right. And I know when you wake up, you're going to do everything you can to stop Alaric because you love your mom and you love Caroline and you don't want this, not really. But right now, I get it. And I won't tell anyone it was really you. End scene.
Oof. Oof.
I unfortunately love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get why people like them together.
Yeah.
So listen, if Elena if she chooses Stefan, I don't hate it. I want Bonnie to like end this world, honestly, and just like
sure
go live her life. But
yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. I see the vision.
I see the vision too. Friends, tell your friends about the show. We have a really exciting bonus episode that we're doing this month. Cody, do you want to tell folks what we're doing for January?
Oh my god. We are watching, discussing, crying, maybe singing along
Crying
to
for
Wicked.
Sure. I'm so
We're
excited.
doing it. We're doing it. It's happening.
I cannot wait. So get excited. Join the Patreon to enjoy Wicked.
Yeah.
And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bid.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.